Hey, we're back with some Gamebound, playing some Bonds. David, I'm gonna pass the mic back to you. What are we doing?
Cool. All right. Let's see. We've got our characters figured out. Let me. Sorry. So we got a map here that I totally didn't steal off the internet. Ignore all the names of the places on it because I'm sure they have nothing to do with what's going on. But now at least have some idea where you're at. So, but I guess you guys don't know where you're at. So this will open on it says Elder Scrolls because you're stuck in a prison, so it has to be an Elder Scrolls game. We see the inside of a cell. Let's start with Magnus. What do we see for you when you're in your cell? That's, I think, just the three of you down there. Is probably like a couple people at the end of the prison that you can hear sort of making noise, but you're the only one. You're next to each other. So what do we see? You don't have obviously any of your stuff yet. So we haven't found your loot crate yet. But
so I guess we just see me short crop black hair, wearing the tattered rags of the prison clothes, just kind of like sitting on my cot, leaning forward, hands clasped like against my legs, kind of leaning forward, and I'm just like muttering something under my breath, and it's basically just like turn left, stab, and then pivot, and then just like going through the movements of a fighting style and like whatever martial form that would kind of get me into that mode, and you can see me just kind of like visualizing it in my head.
Nice. All right, so we shift through the wall and we see Elliot. What do we see you doing in your cell?
So he's kind of in the corner trying to be inconspicuous. You see him fiddling with some possible just seeming almost random materials. You might see a piece of wood in his hand, that he's trying to split apart. He's prepping his shivs, that he's got. You might notice that a couple things in the room seem to be placed a little odd, and if you really went and looked closer and moved it, you might notice a shiv or two hiding here and there. He's well prepared, but he's kind of enjoying a little bit that he's got a nicer set of clothes and some okay food, but food nonetheless.
He intentionally avoiding the bed because it's structurally unsound now from all the shifts you made out of it. Awesome. All right. And then I guess across from you, we see through the bars, Billy. What do we see you doing in your cell? I assume there's probably like a cot, and apparently wood legs.
Billy is ignoring the cot, and he's pacing back and forth across the room, basically in whatever pattern there's enough space for, just all over the place, very antsy. He keeps shaking his empty hand like he's expecting there to be something in there, like it's like there's some, like he's missing his hammer.
Right.
And he's looking around, just kind of like eyeing everything and just very jittery.
Okay, yeah. So I think you guys have been down here for a while. What are you in here for, Billy? I should have done that as we go along, but
a guard had made an offhanded comment to Billy about his height, and all of a sudden the hammer had come swinging around and took the guy's head off, and so that was taken care of rather quickly.
Nice. Great. All right, Elliot, what are you in here for?
We'll go with the rabble rousing. that you might have saw him up to crazy antics in the background of Billy's thing. Possibly actually a gape that the guard's head went flying. Wasn't what he was expecting, more so just being conked in the head. Might have incited the guard a little bit, but that might have been it. Probably was many different instances where they finally were just like, okay, we've got enough accusations. Evidence may not be there, but there's enough.
We know he did it.
We know he did it.
But you're
enough.
Still going to jail.
Yeah,
great. All right. How about you, Magnus?
So Magnus was wrongfully accused and convicted of treason.
Of course, yeah.
And was basically turned in and this person falsely testified like his basically his best friend, like his like fellow comrade in the army. They spent a lot of time together and have been thick as thieves for forever. And for some reason, a reason that Magnus still does not understand, suddenly he betrayed him and turned him in and basically got him arrested for treason. So
great. Okay. What was this guy's name?
Let's say his name was. I don't actually have my name generator open. Oh wait. Okay. I'll do it. His name was Alistair Chambers.
All right. And who is he again? He's like a.
So he was a fellow soldier growing up. I think he moved into some other realm besides swordsmanship. I don't know. Does anyone else have an idea what that might be?
Well, maybe he shortly after betraying you got a really nice cushy administrative position somewhere.
Yeah.
You might have been closer, like Royal Guard, and then
I like
doing this got him to
something closer to the so something more in like the actual still a martial dude as opposed to teaching swordsmanship. So
nice. All right. Cool. Well, so sorry, what was it he actually like betrayed you? What was the thing that he put you in prison for? The charge. I'm just curious what I know was supposed to happen to you, right? Maybe you don't know.
Specifically, they probably did. And I think it was probably along the lines of like betraying sensitive information to a neighboring kingdom or something, right? Battle plans or the fortifications of a particular important fort on the border or something like that.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, probably both you and Billy were scheduled to be executed at some point. I think Elliot was probably like, for a couple of reasons, you've just kind of been sitting here and you're not sure how long they plan on keeping you here, but they haven't mentioned about killing you anytime. So you're thinking they're probably just being like, don't do this again. We don't really want to make all of your peasant friends angry, but you got to do something about it. So you're sitting pretty, but the other two, they're not sure what's going to happen. And I think you've been down here long enough that the anxiousness has grown, because the longer you're down here, the more likely it is that the day is coming that your executions are supposed to take place. And I think earlier today, someone came down and brought you guys food, but we see those bowls empty, or if you didn't eat them, full, but sitting in the corner because it's been a little while. You haven't seen anybody. Are you guys talking to each other at all, or have you basically just ignored each other?
I have been ignoring everyone.
Yeah, sure.
I have been working.
Nice. And Billy, you're across the cell from Elliot. You've seen him doing all this shiv working.
So Billy is probably periodically, when the restlessness gets to him, he'll start shouting at Elliot across the way. And he's like, "Hey, are you gonna actually do something to get us out of here? Are you just gonna sit there playing with your toys? So help me, come on, do something." Just trying to get him moving.
Just hold one up. You want one? Just ask nicely next time.
I don't exactly do nice.
Sucks to be you. Goes back to working.
Nice. So yeah, I think it probably just goes back to being quiet. It's clear that some time passes. The one strand of light that's streaming in from the top of the room slowly dims, and no one's come to bring you probably get 2 meals a day because they're being mean to you. So, but no one's come for that second meal yet. Usually by now they're here, and I think you've begun to hear there's always noise because you're underneath some kind of official building. There's always some noise, but mostly it's thick stone. But it seems like more foot traffic, more just general ambient noise from above you than you're used to. And I guess which one of you notice first that it's picked up considerably more than it has? It right now, the motion has picked up a lot more than it used to. You can actually hear trotting of heavy footfalls above you guys and muffled shouts and stuff like that. It sounds like something's going on. Who picks up on that first?
I feel like it'd probably be Billy because he's the most doing nothing kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. He's looking for something.
Yeah. Magnus is kind of deep in thought, doing his thing. And I'm over here just...
You two are too much in your own head, whereas I'm hyper aware.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably going to be I notice it. And I think Billy would probably start to panic or something. Is looking around. Maybe, and they probably tries to pull one of the posts off of the bed just as something that he can use as a weapon.
Okay.
Because he's assuming they're going to come and get him.
Right. Yeah. So I guess Elliot, you see, and Magnus, you hear the bed leg break off of Billy's bunk. I mean, I guess we can make you make a roll.
Yeah, sure.
So there's different kinds of moves is how this works. So in other words, when you narrate yourself doing something and I say we should do a roll, we look at what you did, and usually it'll fit into one of these types of moves, and they tell us what happens when you succeed, or by how, depending on how well you succeed. So here you are trying to create an advantage. You're trying to find something to use as a weapon, right? So what you'll do is we'll pull you up some dice based on what you got on your character sheet, what you narrated. Then because no one's opposing you, I'll do a difficulty here, and I'll roll, you'll roll, and we'll compare rolls. So let's look at your sheet here. So obviously you're just trying to tear it off, I assume, with brute force. Yeah. So I think we can count forceful and fortitude obviously there. So that's already 6 dice. So that's pretty solid. And you don't have you don't have your hammer. Not sure being an apprentice or a smith helps you here. We might be able to call smith just because it's a very physical thing, and this is some basic physical labor. So I think that counts. So we'll call it 8. I think that seems fair to you.
He said, "Yeah, I just don't think there was audio."
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I think he's muted. Sorry. So yeah, go ahead and you can. Do you know the Roll20 commands or?
Is it just D6s?
Yeah.
You're rolling
because I think the widget only lets you roll up to 5. So
yeah. So what you'll do, Jason, I'll type this in chat.
You can click on it. Okay.
So you said 8 dice.
Yeah.
So
actually it'll be 9. I'm sorry.
So you'll type in /R space 96. Don't put the period. I put the period in when it makes the command 9.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
There we go.
Cool. Right.
Wait, you were 9 or 8?
It was supposed to be 9. Every roll has a die of fate in it. It's an extra dice, and it wasn't added in there initially. So the
How do you read
this
these dice
sort
again?
of burning. This is burning wheel rules, so 4+ is a success, which means that was a pretty rough roll.
That was a really rough roll.
Got one success there.
Yeah. So in the future, when we're rolling these, we can add a greater than 4 at the end of it, and it will tell us how many successes we got.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a couple options here. You have 3 bond points. You can spend 1 if you have a trait that makes sense here, which I'm sure you do. Let's see. Like, for instance, when you have a hammer, everything is a nail. You're trying to procure a hammer here, as it were.
Yeah.
I think you could probably argue that. So if you wanted, you could spend a bond point on that, and you could re-roll all of your failed dice here. But you only get 3 of those, so it's up to you how important this roll is to you.
Yeah.
I didn't crop this right. Anyways, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and. Yeah, I mean, it's like I'm a guy with a weapon, and so it's like right now I'm trying to get myself a weapon that I can use as a hammer.
Right.
So.
All right. So if you'd like to spend those, you can re-roll. If you're not too worried about it, then we can just move on to the resolution. Okay. Well, I actually haven't done my roll. You actually may not need to do it. So this is just a standard difficulty roll. So I'll roll my dice. I only got 1 success. So so if you do spend your bond point, you're almost certainly going to get it. And you'll probably get it high enough that you'll get a better result.
Yeah, so, I'll spend a bond point.
Okay, go ahead and knock that down to 2 then, your bond points.
And so I'm just going to roll 8.
Yep, go ahead and roll those, and you can do the greater than 4 thing, so we'll see how many successes you get.
So spending a bond point makes you re-roll?
It's basically like a call on. You only re-roll your failed ones, yeah. Currently, and we'll see how.
Cool, yeah.
So greater than 4?
Yep. Which does not do what it says it does. It's greater than or equal to, but
yeah.
Which bothers me, but I guess I don't know how you would take that. So you got 5 successes, which is great. So sorry, go ahead.
It does do greater than equal.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Oh yeah.
The first time I typed that, I was like greater than 3 because I needed 4, and then it didn't do that, and I was like, this is dumb. So all right.
Have a bedpost.
Yes, you do. So when you
bed collapses.
There are three levels of, I guess, success. So if you tie with me, you get a costly success, which usually is just a lesser version of what you want. If you get 1 or 2 successes over, you get a normal success, or hits. Sorry, if it's 4+, it's called a hit, right? So if you get 1 or 2 hits above me, you get standard success, and if you get 3 or more hits above me, you get a great success, which is basically just you get like an extra thing on top of it. It's kind of like a crit, but it's not quite as significant. So for creating an advantage, you get to make a tag on the scene, right? In this case, it's a bedpost. So when you use your bedpost to hit things, you get extra dice, right? So I assume that's, let me find a text thing here. Okay. See, it didn't work. Text, please. Thank you. We've got, okay, can I make that text white? Okay. Got a bedpost, and it is 1d6 currently. Now, because you rolled well enough, you can choose to increase that to 2 dice, or you could choose to, basically, there's other options you can always choose, like give yourself a boost, which is basically just a dice that goes away after you use it. You can choose to learn something about the situation if it makes sense. You can, which I don't really know why tearing off a bedpost would help in this case. You can, I think that list has changed, but those are, I think, the things you can do. You can also, no, yeah, that's basically it for now. So I assume you just want to make it better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now when you add people with this bedpost, it'll hurt more because you did a good job of breaking it up. So
got a nice, solid bedpost.
Yeah. I'll make a note for who it is.
Let's see how it does against your shins.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait, you're coming for me?
You wouldn't help me. So yeah.
And it all falls apart before it even begins.
Oh no!
It's like the beginning of Crow Inquisitors, just immediately try and murder all.
Exactly. Yeah. Wonderful. Check out the Crow Inquisitors podcast. Go to calebempowers.com and you can find that there.
Yep. All right.
We've seen that much.
Is there any reaction from the two of you as he tears this off?
Yes, he tears it off. That's what finally catches my attention because that's something breaking.
Yeah.
I might just kind of look at him doing that. I'm like, oh, look, you could do it yourself. You're doing fine.
And Billy just gives him a glare while holding a bedpost like it's a bludgeon.
And then Elliot reaches for a shiver too.
And this is a situation. Did you describe this where we can all see each other in the bars? Like
I think
just bars.
We're on opposite side of a wall from me. We're side by side.
Yeah. So you can
Billy's
see
across.
Billy's
me,
across.
So I think we're
okay.
Yeah. You can see.
Magnus could probably see Billy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Got it.
Depending on how. Yeah. Probably see Billy and Elliot's next to you.
Yeah. So I just stop my reciting for just a moment and just kind of like look up and quirk one eyebrow at him, but I don't really say anything else.
Yeah. And as you stop, I think you hear some heavy footfalls and unusual amount of movement up above you.
And that's when I notice it. Yeah, for the first time too.
And now you probably notice at this point too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys do anything initially other than break your bed? Any other gut reactions?
Well,
you don't want to try.
Similarly, I had grabbed like a shiver too,
right.
But that's about it. But.
All right.
I probably just stand up and start stretching.
Okay. Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, a few minutes pass of that, and then I think you start to smell like somebody left their dinner on the stove too long. Okay. And yeah, I think you start to see just little wisps. Well, you probably had to stick your head through the bars, but you start to see little wisps of smoke crawling down the stairs. And
we're surrounded by stone and metal, basically.
Yeah, the bars are just vertical bars of steel and set into stone. Yeah.
So I after I finish like another stretch, I walk over to the bars and kind of like grab both of them, look down the hallway like up where the smoke is, and I just look back at you, Billy, since you're on the opposite side of me, and I just say, "What is there here to burn exactly?"
Beds, tapestry, people.
And I just like point to you at that last one and like, there it is. All right. And I just like start kind of mentally and physically preparing myself for something to go down, and I don't know what it is.
I'm just kind of like on the other side of the wall. So you're telling me at steak I'm smelling that I would almost be intrigued to take a bite of. I should definitely not. Is that what you're saying?
I just ignore you.
I look at Billy. Is that what he's saying?
Billy also ignores him because he's too busy looking at Magnus. Like he's not certain what he's getting at, but he adjusts his grip on the bedpost, like kind of almost getting ready to use it.
And then Elliot just goes, so am I missing out on a chance for steak? Someone answer me.
In response, you hear the noise sort of subside, and it sounds like whatever commotion was going on upstairs is no longer going on, and no one's come downstairs. There's probably like one other guy in a cell at the end sleeping, and he doesn't seem to have noticed anything yet. At least he hasn't said anything.
I reach for the whatever they gave me that the food was on, and I try to throw it at that guy so he can answer my question.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, you can throw it at him. Right. Yeah, there's no huge deal if you fail here. So yeah, you just whip it at his cell and get some mush on him. You go. What was that?
Dude, that was me. Wake up.
Quit throwing stuff at me.
I have a very serious question for you, okay?
Great. You can ask the guards. I'm going back to sleep.
No, they're not coming down. That's the problem, but that's not the question. You smell what's cooking.
Billy just cuts him off and he's like, well, if they're not coming down, that means they're not getting me. So that's not a problem.
Okay, that's your problem. That's your thing to deal with. But I still need this guy to answer my question. Okay, so you smell what's cooking. It smells like a good steak, right?
Suppose. I mean, it's not for us though. Yeah.
But Magnus over there, that guy.
Yeah.
Made an odd observation that like the only things that can burn are like beds, tapestries, and bodies.
Maybe they're cooking your last meal then.
I'm not gonna die. Billy's gonna die.
We're all gonna die in here. Don't be silly.
But
you're gonna die if you keep running your mouth off.
I still need to ask the question. So that means the food I'm smelling could very well be a human corpse. Which I hate how tasty that smells. So does that mean that that's probably what it is?
And
then I shouldn't.
I think I literally just scream at this point. I'm just like, shut up about the steak. There's no steak. There are bodies burning out there. And if you don't shut up, you will be next.
Well, what do you mean there's bodies burnt? What's burning? You've gotten his attention.
So just kind of like and Magnus's outburst, I just kind of, hunch down and crouch down and go like, I don't get to try a steak.
I speak up to the other prisoner. I'm like, wake up, idiot. Something's about to go down.
Yeah, it's like a mangy guy, big, broad guy, goes up to the bars. He says, what are you talking about? He sticks his head on. He's like, is that smoke? And there's just a little bit of smoke trickling down, which you saw earlier. Mm-hmm. But yeah. What's going? Is the building on fire? What's happening?
I'm not going to have this conversation again.
Sleep. I don't know. We gotta get out of here. If the building's on fire, they're not gonna come down for us.
How do you propose we do that?
You're the smart one. Figure it out.
You got any better ideas than the knife guy?
Shivs. They're shivs. Technicality.
Yeah, tell me how it feels when I shiv this thing through your stomach. Referring to the bedpost.
No.
As you're threatening him through the bars, you grab onto them, and you're a smith. So why don't you give me a roll to see sort of the quality of the steel as you're grabbing onto it. See if maybe there's anything you can do about this. So
yeah.
Look at your sheet again. Oops, wrong thing. Here we go. So let's see. I don't think approaches here makes sense. This will be acuity probably, or willpower, but your acuity is better because you're noticing something here. And you got Smith. That obviously helps you here. I think it's probably it. So that's what, four dice? Five with the
5
because of the die of fate. And I will roll an average difficulty here. Oh yeah, 4 successes. These are all. You got 3 sixes. I don't remember if there's. Oh yeah, so currently the way it works, I'm trying to figure out how I want exploding dice to work. Currently, you can spend a bond point on a trait, and instead of re-rolling, you can explode all the 6s. And in this case, that would benefit you more. If you'd like to do that, you can. I've been trying to figure out what sort of mechanic I want to use for that. But yeah, if you'd like to spend a bond point, you can. Otherwise,
sure.
Okay.
We'll spend it.
Sounds good. And you have blacksmith traits, I think, at least one, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, go for it. So you can roll those 3 6s, and they continue to explode. So you can put in a little exclamation point at the end, and it'll.
Well,
Oh no. The chances of that. All right. So I think you grab hold of it and it shifts a little in a way that you don't think it's supposed to. You haven't built a lot of prison gates in your time, but you're pretty sure it's not supposed to do that. Mm-hmm. So that's a example of failing forward. So I'm giving it to you, even though you failed. It's just not going to work out as well as if you succeed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because otherwise everyone's just going to stay stuck in their cells. So
yeah.
Right. So
so all I can tell is like something's soft or something's loose or there's something. It doesn't feel like it's that.
Set right. I mean, this is probably an old jail and they don't come down here very often.
You'd definitely be stuck because I don't have my lockpick set on me, because if I did, I wouldn't be here.
Does your lockpick set have hidden on it?
It does. Wait, no. Yes. Wait, did I put it down there? I'm on the different one. Right
your shivs have hidden.
No, my shivs have hidden. Okay. My lockpick. No,
right.
Even then, it would have to be. Well, it would have to basically be a suppository for me to get it in at all.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to do anything with that information, Billy, or should we see if the others have any ideas? You have a convenient lever now.
What kind of hinges are these?
Yeah, there you go. Yep. I have no idea because I don't know anything about structural engineering.
That was a joke that I was getting at. But
I just know the actual answer.
I think not really. I'll probably just like keep shifting at them, trying to see if I can like figure anything out, but I don't necessarily do. It's just like I'm there just constantly pulling around at the bars, trying to see where stuff's moving.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's probably just the other guys watching me.
Right, yeah. Okay. Do the other two you want to make a roll, see if you can find a way out of here? What do you guys do? You're looking at describe what it looks like as you try and find a way out of the cell.
So
as I give a weird look to Billy as he's just kind of
gate,
doing whatever he's doing to the gate, and I'm just like, okay, you know what? I guess I could try this. And so I take one of my many shivs that I have strewn about and work it a little bit finer. And I just try to stick it in the lock and I jiggle it in an attempt to do a form of lock picking.
Why don't you create an advantage for me first? Or actually, wait, no, you just have your shivs. That's what it is. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I just have
go ahead and roll. Let me see if I can. Jeez, too many tabs open. I'm trying to find stuff. All right, here we go. So let's see. I think probably call this careful, especially considering you are at a weird angle here. And you're not really worried about being caught. You're just trying to get it done. But if you get cutie, probably makes sense.
Okay.
You are still a thief, so you get dice for that. So that's 5 so far.
Shivs, which aren't gonna give a bonus.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. So it looks like you're at was it 5? Yeah, 5. 6 dice because of the die fate.
Oh yeah, then the bonus, so 66 greater than 4.
Right, you gotta get better than a 2. You did, good job. Yeah, so standard success on an overcome roll, it pops open. You probably crank it off in the lock, but it swings
open.
Like
the shiv is gone. It's not necessarily workable. Definitely doesn't have a nice point to it.
Right, yeah. But you like plenty of them.
I'm like, it worked. So why didn't I try this sooner?
I think at this point, as you guys are both out at this point, right?
Hey Billy, would you like a shiv now?
I just still have my hands on the bars, and I just look at you two, and I just say, Whatever is beyond that door is something you will not be able to face without me. That's all I say.
I look to him and hold up a shiv. Would you like a shiv? I got shivs.
I just like look at you like, what do you think?
Me and you
That's
guys,
nicely.
Boy, let me out. I'll get you a steak. I know a guy.
I look back at him.
Are you
guys
you,
letting
my
me out?
friend, get a shiv. Here you go.
Oh, thank you. He just starts jamming it.
And then I look at the other two. Billy, you still have to ask nicely. That's the offer as it was.
I'll take a shiv.
Magnus, I'd rather not piss you off. Here's a shiv.
I'm like,
This is the point.
Billy,
You realize
look at Billy.
Billy's like reaching through. It's like, I'll take a shiv.
well, so this is the thing. Yeah,
Fine. It's better than it's been before. You're doing better than you have before. Here's a shiv. Everyone has a shiv.
so
And
yeah,
I stand there with 4 more in hand.
exactly. So I look at
These
you.
things go wrong.
I'm holding the shiv in my hand, and I'm like, I can kill a man with this, no problem. But unfortunately, I don't know how to pick a lock. I assume you can help me out with that.
Oh,
Billy immediately
forgot that
stabs the
people
shiv
don't know
into
how
his
to-
lock and tries to do it.
Yeah, honestly, my character was just
Like-
assuming when you said like you want a shiv, I was like, oh yeah, cool. He's gonna let me out and give me a weapon. Like that's what I was assuming.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot people don't know how to pick locks. All right, let's
Not a thing everyone
give it another go.
Yeah. So I mean, you already made this roll. You can do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Jam it in. Breaks, but miraculously, the luck just kind of goes.
Yeah. Good
So
thing you have
Magnus
that.
has been
do you
released.
do me first? Do you?
Yes, I do you
Okay.
first.
So
Well, I'm
You're
trying to
less of the
get
one who
myself
has
out.
threatened to shiv me with a bedpost.
yeah. So I step out and I look at the like unnamed prisoner that's been beside us.
Yeah.
I look back at you and I say,
Look,
we're not letting him out.
Well, hey,
But-
what did I do to you?
he promised me a steak.
Man, I know
There
people,
are
but
no
I-
stakes beyond those doors, just death.
We just know those people are dead.
Yeah, man, the building's just on fire. Come on, there's other people.
He's a liability. Leave him.
We could let him just go out on his own first.
I'm sure he'll be able to
You know,
figure
no,
out the
I don't know,
ship
whisper,
thing
I'm like,
without
you
too
know,
long.
Like, I don't know, distraction I guess. I don't know. By himself. We go
Well,
separately.
while this is going on, Billy is standing there with now half of a shiv. The other half is just
Breaking it off.
embedded in the lock,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Are you gonna take me? I have a bedpost. I'm not a liability. I can help."
And I nod to him like, yeah, take him.
Okay.
And I think like
So,
while
like-
you're doing that, I'm gonna like step up. And did you say, David? I don't know. I don't maybe miss how you described this. Did you say there's like stairs up somewhere? Like what's
Mhm,
the layout?
yeah.
Okay.
And you see gentle curls of smoke.
And
coming,
is there a
just
door,
walking?
or is just like stairs that lead up and then like turn a corner and we don't see what's beyond, sort of a thing?
There is, I think the stairs curve. You know, there's a door, but it must
Yeah.
be open because
Sure.
smoke is building down into not building, but trailing slowly down.
Yeah.
But I think it does curve off.
Yeah.
That's
So
like
I'm
it.
just gonna go ahead and like walk up the stairs to go check it out and say behind me, don't take too long. I'm going to see what's happening.
All right. It's like take an extra minute to dig out half a shiv.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, then I'm like, and then I look at him and say, good idea on the bedpost. I can't use mine. It's a little hollowed out a bit, It's barely enough for me to sleep on.
We just
It's
see
still not the worst, but
we just see Elliot like step back into his cell and just like poke the bed and it just falls apart.
Like termites.
Yeah.
It's like, you see, they don't think about the fact that they have to get me a new bed every few months. 'Cause I'm like, man, the termites in my cell in particular are just terrible. And for some reason, they believe me.
Amazing.
All right.
My bed
Billy
works,
kinda
you can
like
have mine
look-
if you let me out.
Yeah, no. Well, Billy's like looks at his weapon. He's like, "Once I get my hammer, you can have this."
That'll make a good few shifts. All right, let's go.
There you go.
Jimmy the lock up.
You're gonna waste the perfectly good bedpost. It's even been boosted.
Yeah, it's glowing for some reason.
But shivs, they're throwable for me.
This is throwable.
For you.
Yeah.
You see, in the metagame, I get a bonus for throwable shivs.
To be clear, everything's throwable. It's just not everything's, what is it, beneficial?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is lawful, but not everything is beneficial.
Exactly.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
Cool. The guy keeps whining at you.
I look at the guy.
Mistake, but yeah.
I'll come back for you.
Wait. What if the place burns
Give
down?
me the shit. You are surrounded by stone, my man.
Am I out of the cell by this point?
You're out of the cell at this point.
I walk over to him, and because he's like kind of like leaning through
he's
the bars,
like
trying
pushing
to
through
get
as
us.
hard as he can. Yeah.
And I just take the bedpost and I just very, very just tap on the head, and it's like,
what's that for?
Back up and shut up, or else it'll be a lot harder next time.
Yeah, he hesitates. He's like, but what if the building collapses? How do I get out?
I'm like,
get out without a head.
Billy's got a point though. He can hit harder. I think I heard kind of sort of that he crushed the head of a guard with a hammer.
Come on, man. I just want to get out. I didn't do anything to you.
The head went poof.
Yeah, you can tell he's getting scared, but he knows he'll die if he stays down here, so he's trying. He's like, let me out, man.
I'll come back for you.
I just
once
take the bedpost and I push him
and
back
we're going
by the
for
chest.
Stakes.
Just push him back into the cell.
Okay. Yeah. You can leave him behind if you want. Yeah. I mean, he
is officially left behind.
But
I'm sorry, man. But I don't want to anger the dude upstairs now.
All right, so
it scares me, and I didn't even see him threaten me.
Does Magnus like call us or anything, or are we just gonna head up the stairs following?
Yeah. So Magnus, I guess we'll cut to you real quick because you do make it upstairs first. Yeah. So yes, the building is indeed on fire.
Okay.
You guys are over here on the map there in Fort Nar, as it's labeled.
Fort Nar.
It's up here on the top. Yeah, there you
go.
And I mean, I don't know if it's actually it's basically just a walled off
complex. Yeah,
it's probably like a guard installation basically. And you're in basically like one of the side buildings, and it is indeed on fire. You see a couple corpses. One's like crushed by a fallen timber, but the others look like they were killed, wounded, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the building doesn't look like it's doing so great. It's in one piece still, more or less. You can still get around. I think you can probably still get out, but probably also want your stuff.
Yeah. So things are just kind of indiscriminately on fire.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's spreading from one particular source, but like part of the building is more on fire than another. I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter. Like the east wing or whatever is more on fire than the west, so you probably would want to go that direction.
Got it.
You want to get out, but you have a couple seconds to look around before they catch up to you.
Yeah, I think I'm still holding the shiv, and I look around. And did you say there were bodies? You said there was like wounded guards.
Yeah, there's a couple guards. One of them looks like just sort of a handmaid or like a kitchen maid or whatever. There's also like a civilian.
Sure. I'm gonna check the guards and check their wounds, try to figure out what killed them.
Yeah. Okay. So one of them has a really obvious stab wound that looked like it got through the chainmail.
Yeah.
The other one looks like he was scratched and pummeled, like about the face, right? It's like someone just beat him until he died. Someone with sharp nails. And I think you just check the guards, or you check the kitchen maid too?
I'll check all of them, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So she looks like her throat was cut, but her hands look like someone pounded them with a mallet, basically. Like they're super marred.
Yikes.
Something's like her hands are totally mangled. And she looks kind of like, I mean, she's dead. She's super pale, but in sort of like I guess it's hard to tell if she had some kind of weird sickness or if she's just more pale skinned than the others, but she seems kind of weirdly gray compared to them because they just died. Yeah. Or you assume. But yeah, those are the only people you see in the immediate vicinity.
Do I know where our stuff is being kept or like have a good guess?
I don't think it's like a huge building. You could probably guess. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think I just start in that direction.
I think searching to buy is long enough. I think that they catch up to you.
Sure.
So as you're going off towards the direction you think it should be, and I mean, this is the kind of, you were a soldier. This is the kind of place you probably have been in. So yeah. I mean, I suppose we might as well make it roll, huh?
Yeah. See if I can find it.
That's what the rules are for, I suppose. Yeah. So, you trying to be careful or quick? How much time are you giving yourself to do this?
I'll be careful. I'm confident enough in my physical abilities that if I have to run through fire or whatever, I can make it just fine.
Yep.
It probably looks kind of intimidating, just me kind of just stalking through a burning building, not really caring that it's on fire.
Yeah. I think acuity makes sense. You're looking for something here. Using your powers of observation. You're a soldier. You count that. Probably it. So that's
6 dice with the. It's a 1, 2, 3, 6. It should be 7. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, sorry. And I will just do a standard difficulty. Yeah, the place is on fire, but you also kind of have a good idea where you're going. So
6 successes. That's right.
Nice. There you go. You got it.
Very nice.
Not by 3, but still by 2. So yeah, you have a pretty good idea.
Somehow
where you're going.
You still got more 6s than me. So
why can't this ever happen to me?
I know, right?
That's how it always goes. Yeah. So as the two of you, Elliot and Billy, run upstairs, you see him, Magnus stalking off probably like in towards the burning portion of the building, but not such that
we're having
towards the room that's actually on fire. He's going towards that direction. Yeah. Because of course.
A note of where he's going. And then I notice the guard corpse and I check for sharp objects.
There are sharp objects. He has knives and he has there's at least one sword. Yeah.
I take the sharp objects.
Okay. You have sharp objects.
Yay!
Meanwhile, I'm like, I look at the corpses and I'm just kind of like, again, readjusting the grip on my bedpost. And it's like I notice Magnus walking towards fire. I'm like, is that where our stuff is?
This way.
I just kind of yell at him as he's leaving.
Yeah. I just say, this way.
And then, Billy just runs after him if that's where the stuff is.
Elliot happily shifts his newfound sharp objects and follows after.
All right, yeah. So Magnus, you stalk up to sort of like a reinforced door, but you're on the outside, so you can just kind of. I mean, it's probably unlocked actually at this point, but it's it looks like it was pretty well secured, and that's part of the reason why you think it's probably in here.
Yeah. So I can open it, or I can swing it open. Okay.
You get a test. You think it'll open? Yeah.
Yep. Swing it open.
Yeah, you step inside. Yeah, so it's dark, and you see, there's equipment in here and storage in here, and then there's also presumably where they keep the stuff. Right? They don't just have a special room for it.
Yeah.
And you see some movement in one of the corners, but you can't quite make out what it is from the doorway.
I think at that
you said there's something moving in there.
Yeah.
Oh. I think I just immediately go for the kill. Right?
Okay.
Just immediately trying to find
with the shiv.
Yeah, just
that's all he's got.
Trying to get as close as possible, as quickly as possible, and just like cut a vital spot.
Yeah. So as you move into the room, you hear like a sort of a ragged voice scream, and I'm not going to scream because Gwendolyn's sleeping in the room. But it's mine, it's mine. And then you go at it, and you try and kill him here. So let's see what you got. So I've got a shiv, unfortunately, which doesn't give you a lot of extra stuff, but can go for the kill with it.
So I'm hoping that this can be forceful, but I guess I kind of described it as quick.
Yeah, especially with like a small weapon. I think you're probably looking at quick. Yeah.
So this is a cutie, I assume.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Well, yeah, cutie's your better one. Yeah, it's probably how you use
it. Cutie, and then can I get, if it's sharp, it can cut as a bonus here? Is that how that works? Or do I
you
spend
could
bond
spend
points?
a point on it if you need to afterwards.
I couldn't remember. Cool. So it looks like I currently just have 4. I guess I probably get one from Soldier or Swords Master too, right?
Yes, probably more from Soldier than Swords Master, I would guess.
So 5 dice altogether?
Yeah, if you're counting the extra. Yeah. Wait, did you count the die fate as well?
Yes. Yeah, because it's just Acuity and Soldier, right? I don't think I have anything else here. So yeah, it'd be 5 altogether.
By the way, your last roll, your first die was a 6.
Mm-hmm.
That's a positive twist.
Oh, okay.
I had the door just be unlocked. Frankly, that probably is a good. Yeah. But I was waiting for someone to roll a 1 or a 6, and no one was doing it, and then I didn't see it when you did it. So, but yeah, basically, some extra goes sort of right for you in some way or another.
Cool. So. All right, 5d6. Here we go. 3 successes.
All right. So here we go. Oops. Oh, wow. That was a good roll.
Cool.
So you tie. Now, this isn't a normal attack.
I want to tie.
You don't have to tie. You could spend your point and
I'm just gonna go ahead and spend my point on, if it's sharp it can cut, and reroll the 2 failed.
Okay, go for it.
There you go. 2 more successes.
There you go. And this is an overcome roll. It's not like a normal attack. You're not going to do damage. So because it's not.
Yeah, it's just 1 engagement sort of a thing.
Yeah. So geez. Sorry, we're trying to find something. Yeah. All right. So you get what you want. That's all that happens. Cool. Yeah. So it's that shifting body screams at you, and then you slash across its throat, and it just slumps over. And it's holding like some kind of jeweled cup or something. Like it's some random article of that was stored in here.
Okay.
And it slumps to the ground. Yeah. And it looks like it was just some, like a young, like probably just a guy who worked here, like a peasant that took care of their storage and stuff, right? Like a stable boy, basically.
Yeah.
But a little too old to be a child.
Is there anything else weird about them?
I think, like, again, I mean, you just killed him and he already looks kind of pale.
Yeah.
It just seems weird.
Sure.
You've killed enough people to know that they don't drain that fast, right? And like, his veins probably look a little weird, like they do when someone's dead for some time. But
cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm just after a cursory glance, I kind of just ignore him and the cup and immediately look for like equipment.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think you take a glance around. There's lots of generic stuff. If you look for your stuff specifically, I think you probably just rifle through and find one of the chests has. But do you only have the one magical sword, or do you have other stuff as well?
I probably have other stuff. I assume. If you'll allow me to have various like mundane equipment, I assume.
Yeah, I assumed you probably did.
Yeah, so I imagine I probably have. So Wolfsbane is probably like my big ol' like bastard sword.
Right.
And then I probably have like a short
regular
sword, a
sword.
couple of daggers, like a long sword that's like a normal like standard issue long sword. And various like and some like leather armor and that sort of thing.
So you find the armor in the chest. The swords are kind of just bundled up next to it.
Yeah.
Sitting there like wrapped in some cloth.
Yeah.
And how about you and Elliot and Billy? You see Magnus shifting through this stuff after he just slashed the guy's throat.
Yeah, I think because Billy was running behind him.
Yeah, you're both
trying to catch up, so he kind of came barreling in, like right after he had killed the guy. So I'm just kind of ignore him and start digging through the stuff. And it's like I'm kind of looking around. As soon as I see Magnus pull out his big fancy magic sword, that's what tells me it's like, oh, our stuff is here.
He actually doesn't get that. He just gets his normal stuff, but he's pulling out like armor and like he's grabbing a couple of swords and stuff. It looks like
But the way he's putting it on, it's like, oh, it's his stuff.
Yeah.
So I probably start looking through, and I find in one of the chests after rifling through, it's like I pull out the hefty hammer, and I just kind of like doing the motion that Billy was doing at the beginning, but just with a fat grin on his face.
Yep, yeah, it feels good.
Trying to think of what other stuff he would have.
Yeah, I mean, like any clothes you would have had, and like
Yeah, pulls out the ash smudged tunic, as I described, and just like he just takes off the prison clothes and puts all those on right there, just to be more comfortable.
Perfect. You just change right in front of Magnus. Yeah. All right, cool.
I'd do the same. I'm changing out of my weird tattered rags into my traveling clothes.
You walk in and there's two mostly naked guys and a dead person.
It's like
normal Tuesday.
Look at the dead person. I'm like, wasn't that Henry from back? Gosh, how many years ago was that? Man, it's been a while.
He doesn't look like
he was here. I was wondering where he went. What was up with him? Why is he dead? Magnus, did you do that?
I don't answer. Yeah, I just changing.
Huh. Dang.
Billy just looks at him and just like, I don't know. He was like that when I got here.
Okay. Well, that's a bummer. Then yeah, I've seen a lot of friends die over the years, so doodaloo, buckaroo. All right, where's my stuff? See, you guys found your thingies. It's like, all right, the lockpick. Good. Pockets them. Oh, that's right. My old clothes. Those were in horrible condition.
Did you look at a different chest to try to find someone else's clothes?
Just like, I just look at them and I'm just like, where's the fire?
Is Elliot like actually talking through all of this?
Yes. It's like,
oh no.
Those are. Folds them up, throws them down the hallway that we came from because I'm like, fire's that way. All right. Got my lockpicks.
Yep. Yeah, there.
I don't really have it. Oh, wait, there's the token for the Peasant Alliance. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Get that, pocket that. Okay.
Nice. Any gold that any of you had definitely isn't in here. But
I'm poor, man. What makes you think I got gold? I got like 2 coppers that I found on the ground in front of a fancy restaurant.
Well, I mean, according to the dice in the game, you have more money than anybody else because you're the only one with a profitable tag. But
I didn't put a profitable tag.
Oh, you didn't? Then never mind. Everyone's poor.
I was like, hey, the only way I was thinking, I would think of putting something, anything like that would be if I was specifically thinking like necessities, like I can find maybe shelter, food.
Oh, right, yeah,
like
yeah.
That, but I was like, I don't really.
That's fair.
I don't know what to label that as.
Cool. So yeah, you guys have your stuff, and the building's still burning. So.
Yeah, you see me strap on my last sword and buckle it, buckle the buckle, so it's strapped across my back, and I'm just like, come with me if you want to live.
Yeah, Magnus, your super powerful magical sword is noticeably absent from the chest. By the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I'm starting to have suspicions about things already.
Like, yeah, I know what that sword does. This seems like a bad thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do I have any idea as to where it might be if it's not here?
I mean,
like, do I know where like the captain or the warden lives on this, or where his office is?
If you had to guess, some rich and or important person decided it looked fancy and that you didn't need it anymore. That's just your best guess.
Yeah.
But it's possible that the person who was in charge of this place, and they would have been the first people to have access to it.
Exactly. So that's
there's a good chance that
I think that's where I'm headed, is just like wherever the warden's office is or whatever his quarters are here.
Right. Yeah. So you guys are in sort of this side building. And so I take it you get out before it burns down.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Attempting to.
You guys step outside through the not burning portion, and you go to head, Magnus, for the largest, most important looking building, and you see somebody in the courtyard straddling one guard is straddling another, and he's just screaming incoherently at him and punching and this guy's wearing a helmet, and the other guy's just full on pounding his fists into the other guy as hard as he can, screaming something incoherent.
Wonderful.
And there appears to be some dead people just sort of here and there, as it were.
As there
are. Yeah. And the gate to like probably right here. That's a big circle for what I was trying to do. Hold on. How do I roll 20?
That is a very good question.
Freehand. This one
Got it.
is open. The portcullis to that. And I mean, there's walls here, so you can't see super well, but I mean, there's a lot of noise just generally.
Mm-hmm.
You see plumes of smoke here and there from above the wall, and you hear screaming and that kind of stuff.
So is this the city we all live in?
That's probably up to you, I guess. It looks like a pretty important place. So if because it's a port city,
I think it's probably the city I live in, or at least the city I live nearest to, right? Wherever my estate was outside.
Yeah, I mean, if you were
I'm imagining myself as like the swordsmaster in Avatar, where he has like a estate in the countryside, but it's probably the closest. This is the city that's closest to that, probably.
Right. Okay. Perfect.
This is the city I live in. I have no designated spot, but I live in it.
So this guy's
whole place is your address.
They're just this guy's just like beating a guy to death in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to.
Okay.
With the helmet on.
So I'm definitely starting to get suspicious about this, and I look to the other two of you, and I'm just like, gates open if you want to leave. If you do, shut it behind you. And then I like walk in the opposite direction.
Do I see that the guy who's doing the beating, if he is armored or not?
He's also a guard, so he's got like chainmail and
so it's just like two guards beating up on each other.
Yeah. Well, one of them is very clearly losing.
One is pinned to the ground.
Yeah,
you're getting a concussion from his helmet being.
Yeah, you're not even sure if he's still alive. He doesn't appear to be resisting very much for someone who's being punched.
Billy looks at his hammer and just kind of like feels the weight of it. Then he just runs and he goes to take a swing at the dude.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
I'm just walking past them, by the way.
Oh,
I
totally.
put my hand on one of the smaller, sharp objects that I have now within my possession. I was considering throwing, but I'm not going to throw a knife at an armored target because it's not going to do anything.
Yeah. So, let's see, that'd be 8 probably. 9 plus the fate.
Here. Because we got
I'm seeing
fortitude, forceful,
forceful,
6,
bludgeoning from the hammer.
8. Yep.
So 9.
Actually, do crushing too. He's wearing armor.
Okay.
So he'll benefit from the armor, but you'll benefit from the fact that it doesn't matter that he has it. You don't reduce dice, you also get dice. So here's his roll. This is just going to be there's a combat system, but this is just going to be a roll off. Because you're just trying to take him out. He gets 4 successes. It's pretty good.
Okay. And so I'm rolling. So you said plus crushing, so that makes 10.
Oh gosh.
Sounds like it, yeah.
What's with you getting all these dice?
Well, this is his thing. He picked focused and hitting things with the hammer. Oh no. How?
Yikes.
Pling.
No, I'm using it. I'm using my last bond.
Yeah, you should actually, because the other thing is you got a 1 on your die of fate, which is very bad.
Oh boy.
So you should do that, yes.
So
in this case, that you don't have any
7. You want to roll 7?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. There you go.
Okay.
All right. So you don't get 3 over him, but you get 2 over him. So you run up to him and he turns and he yells something. He's clutching like an engraved knife in his hand, but you notice that when he was punching the guy, he was holding the knife, but he wasn't stabbing him. He was just punching him. And then, he said, "I said it's," and then his head just caves in.
Yeah, because I'm just.
Yeah. Yep. And when you look at the guy on the ground, his helmet is totally caved into his head, which, I mean, by glance doesn't seem like it should be possible. And the other guy's hands are just absolutely covered in blood. Even like his gloves are all torn. The metal plates on his gauntlet are all like peeled off because where the fabric tore off, and they're just sort of like it's super messed up, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're both dead now.
And Billy just kind of like lets out a sigh of releasing the anger of being locked up.
I'm free. I killed the guy and I go back. Yeah.
And with that, he turns and follows. Well, yeah, he kind of jogs. Oh, before he gets far, he looks at the bedpost in the other hand. And was like, "Oh yeah, did you want this?" Turning to Elliot.
Elliot looks at the handful of sharp objects on him, plus the bag of shivs that he always carries on him, because who wouldn't have a bag of shivs on him? And goes, oddly enough, I think I'm good. Thanks for the offer. He then turns and looks at the fancy knife, thinks about how the guy acted, realizes that he looks probably similarly what skin he can see. Looks similarly extra pale.
Yeah, they both look pretty.
Looks like Henry.
Puts 1 + 1 + 1 together and says, "I feel like something's wrong with that fancy object. I'm a hold off. I might look around, kick the knife towards a building, make a mental mark to come back to it later if things change."
Yeah.
And it's like, if maybe it was something else, I don't know. It's like, okay, keep that in mind.
There's still
and then I just go follow up.
And we follow Magnus wherever he's running off to.
I close the gate behind me. For good measure, I take a.
Oh, did you leave?
Oh yeah, I was
Did Elliot
following
leave?
y'all. Oh yeah. Magnus left. I think
No,
he's
Magnus.
I just walking away. Yeah.
No.
Oh, you're walking away.
He's still.
Magnus is staying in the compound.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not walking. So I literally told you if you guys want to leave, gate's right there. If you do, close the gate behind you, and I walked in the opposite direction.
That's right. Oh, that's right. For you, never mind.
So we're just
don't do
ignoring
anything
the
to the
gate
gate
right now.
Yeah, ignore the gate. It's like for some reason I was thinking we were leaving the compound. I was like, I'll just close it and then jam a shiv in it and just break it off.
So where is Magnus going?
Heading to wherever the warden's
biggest, fanciest building.
Yeah.
Probably like
Probably like that one in the dead center of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
bless you.
It doesn't take you very long, Magnus, of traveling towards that building to see that there is a large sort of human height hole in the wall. And it's a wooden wall. And when you peer through it, there's lots of bodies everywhere. Some of them have been like chopped pure in half. You don't know what happened in here, but it was ridiculous. Like there's pretty much, it looks like whatever complement of guards stayed behind here, they all died.
Nice.
There's probably like a dozen corpses in this building. Awesome. It's sort of this main area is pretty large and open. And none of them look fancy enough to be the guy you're looking for. You could probably look through the whole building, but
yeah, I pretty much am at this point going to do that. Yeah.
So basically, you hit what looks like levels. Basically, it looks like there were a bunch of people in this building. Some of them tried to hold something off at one point, died. So a handful of corpses by this door, and then they're by the staircase, and then by the mouth of the entrance that you came in, and then in that main room. Mm-hmm. So it looks like they were trying to keep something from getting out, and they didn't do a very good job.
Yeah.
And none of them look like the guard captain.
So are you guys still following me at this point? Is that what you said? Okay. I just turned back.
Also, the place smells terrible.
Yeah.
And most of the people here are only as gray as you might expect them to be for being dead recently, by the way. There's like a couple of them maybe that are grayish, but most of them look freshly dead.
So I get to a point where I'm looking, and I obviously don't find what I'm looking for. I just stop, kind of frown, and then I notice that you guys are still behind me, and I look behind me, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" I thought
you've got the adventure going on around you.
I just shake my head.
You see, you're just such idiots. Normally have to keep myself under control because I don't want to get arrested. But since things are kind of going the way they are, I can let loose a little, have fun. Get more knives.
I'm just
I grab
shaking
3 or 4 more knives, so I have 5. Plus the short sword I stole from the cart earlier.
Do either of you know where a magical sword? No, I probably don't say magic. I wouldn't reveal that.
No.
Do either of
you
know
sword?
Do either of you know where an incredibly expensive sword would have been taken from our possessions? I'm still missing my sword. And I say that having 3 swords currently strapped on.
Billy's probably you seem to be on the right track. Just follow all the dead people.
Yeah.
I just gotta look at them and the swords he has. And I'm like,
I thought the warden might have.
Then you've got 3 swords already. You got enough swords. Well, then again, I have 5 daggers.
Oh, didn't you say there were upstairs? Have we gone upstairs?
Was there upstairs?
Yeah, you guys have sort of looked through the whole thing.
Okay, we have searched the building and there is no sword.
Yeah.
Could we say, well, actually, since this is the city in which I roam, reside, etc., we could probably assume I have an idea of the fancy people of the city because I don't like them.
Okay.
Since I'm still speaking, I'm gonna come up with an idea. Okay, so I'm well, there is that one guy, the oh my gosh, the Baron. What would Baron be an appropriate one? Yeah, we'll go Baron. Yeah. There's that Baron down the road from here. I think I've heard he's got ties here. He might. I mean, if it's a really fancy one, he
The
probably
warden might have sold it to him or something.
I don't know that. Or
all right, take me there.
It might be buds. I don't know. I might get a deal for that. But yeah, it's like just down the road. Whatever from here, we can go check that out.
Start moving, little man.
Hey, what are you calling me a little man for?
I wasn't.
So he starts holding up the hammer, walking towards him.
I wasn't talking to you.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Follow me. I was just kind of looking at the map, and I was thinking the lot C, whatever, because like that seemed like it could be a.
Oh yeah, that.
Because that's what I was just giving an idea of location.
Yeah. So I mean, as soon as you guys exit this main gate, in this area here, like there's just people, like tons of people, and they're all like pressing up against this gate here. And there's some spiked, barricades, whatever, and a handful of guards there with spears keeping people in. But there's just a huge crowd of people here pressing against the gate and yelling and screaming and all that stuff, trying to get out. So it's very difficult to get much further than these couple buildings here.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you guys can try and muscle through the crowd or like that.
Well, while we're going through, I'm trying to look at faces to see if it's any of the folks I know from the
Oh yeah.
Thing.
I'm sure you see some.
If we're actually leaving the compound, I want to insist that we close the portcullis behind us.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's closed. I don't think about jamming the lock.
Okay, can I find the lever or whatever and just like crank it closed?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
But
just slash the rope or something.
Yeah.
But as we're going through the crowds and I see the people I know, I'm trying to get info from them.
Mm-hmm.
Say, hey, I know some stuff was going on in the compound, but what the heck's going on here? What do you guys know? Trying to hear more about what's going on.
Yeah, so you see a guy named Billy. No, it's your name, Bobby.
Bobby. Bobby. Bobby, my guy, how's it going? What's going on?
He's a farmer, and he was in town selling his vegetables, I guess. He's, I don't know, man. People just started going nuts and it's killing. I don't know, but the whole city's at a riot, and we're just trying to get out of here.
Were those people clasping anything? Like, were they holding on anything? Like, I don't know.
They all just seemed real mad.
They just kind of went crazy, ballistic, whatever.
Yeah, I've never seen nothing like it. But I'd like to not see nothing like it again. So we're trying. But those morons won't let us through the gates.
Right.
They got a right to hold us in here. You gotta tell me this. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. You stay safe, man. Catch you later.
I'll try. Yeah. And actually I have to get to bed soon, so we might have this on a cliffhanger. Maybe we can do it again sometime because I'm enjoying it.
Yes.
So
the crowd.
You guys go to go towards the gate, and you see think like I'm trying to think how this would happen. There's a building, like, I don't know, probably over here somewhere or something like that, like really close to the compound you're in. And just the wall blows out and you see somebody that I suspect Magnus definitely recognizes, but probably all recognize him just because you came to the prison. This is the captain of the guard that would have that would have been in charge of the compound you were just in.
Sure.
And he is currently hanging a foot off the ground, and there is probably like a 6.5 foot, maybe 7 foot person lifting him bodily off the ground. Their skin is totally gray. and there is an enormous sword stuck straight through them. But it doesn't appear to be bothering them very much because they're lifting a person in armor off the ground. And he just whips that guy into this lake, or this little pond here, stream, whatever. And it's apparently deep enough that the guy's heavy armor pulls him down because he disappears under the water. And then, needless to say, everybody in that crowd just goes nuts and starts sprinting this away, away from whatever.
Is the sword that is in this gray person's body Wolfsbane?
It is indeed, yes.
Very nice. Okay.
Also looks something like a person you used to know.
Oh, it's that dude?
Yeah, whose name about Alistair? Yeah, it's Alistair. He's wearing some very nice clothing.
So he got me thrown in jail to get my sword. Amazing.
You're not sure what happened.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened. That's what I'm thinking. So I literally
it's certainly what you think happened.
Just immediately, just like I'm calmly looking back to the two of you, and I'm just like, I found my sword. Have a good day. And I just start walking towards the dude
and
pulling out my long sword as I do.
As he's doing his thing, I'm like, obviously I've got some grudge against the captain of the guard. You know, he threw me in jail, and I'm a little unhappy about that. I'm like, I look at Billy, and I'm like, that was an impressive throw. Probably, you know, I'd give that like an 8 or 9. No, like a 7 maybe. Could have been better if he skipped.
I'm just ignoring him, and I set the bedpost down, just on the ground next to me.
Yeah.
Because yes, I've been carrying the bedpost in the hand, but I just set that down, and I start looking on the ground for a large rock.
Oh yeah, I can find one. Yeah, I think we see. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's good.
Yeah, as a last shot, we see Billy heft a big rock and sort of test its weight in his hand. We see Elliot narrow his eyes at the sky because the sky is he's the Baron you're talking about. He's in charge of at least a big chunk of this city. If nothing else, he's 99% of the reason you have a peasant alliance. He's not a very nice guy. And we already know what Magnus doesn't like him for. So, and I mean, I suppose by extension, Billy, he's probably giving you some trouble too, because you're also a working man in the area. So, but I don't get the impression that you need a lot of excuse to smash him. So, yeah. So we see Magnus stride forward with his swords, and Elliot, you're probably.
I'm realizing. Wait a minute. I recognize those clothes. That man.
And you do the "what are you buying?" and you just have shivs. And
kid, you want some shivs?
Pulls out your sharp objects.
Yeah,
my sharp objects, which I've since relabeled to 5 daggers and a short sword.
There you go.
Yeah, make that.
Yeah, and if we get a chance to do this again, I sincerely hope we do. We'll see what fighting that guy looks like.
We all gonna die.
Hulking man.
Very good.
Awesome.
Very good. Cool. It's been Gamebound. Thanks for playing, guys. I'm glad we finally got to test a little bit.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm glad that was really fun. I'm glad it seemed like it went pretty smoothly. So
yeah.
Funnily enough, I think the character creation time was about as long as it took for us to follow.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's because we had to set up a lot more for that, but
yeah.
But that was
especially
still for the relative good time. I think.
Okay, I'm glad. Yeah, I think especially the first time through, this game tends to be pretty. It takes a while to make a character. I mean, like, I made a character sheet for this guy on the break because I'm very familiar with making characters in this game. But the first time, it takes like when I first made a fake character, it took a while to wrap my head around it. So, but I'm hoping that doesn't scare people away the first time. That they'll.
And I gotta say, what you have to prompt like what the different categories are going to be and how it all works. I think you did a good job with that.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
I mean, I think most of it's just it took me a minute to think about that, but that's mostly just me.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
it's a pretty complex system because I'm trying to have building blocks that allow you to build pretty much whatever you can come up with. And obviously that means there's got to be a few moving parts. And so I'm well aware that it's a bit of a large bite to swallow.
I mean, I think most of it was just, I'm like, okay, I understand that thing. Yeah. Now, how can I make that for my character?
Right. Yeah.
But that's an issue I always have. So it's your fault. But I like the different trait things and how you can use the points on those to have you boost. And that makes it extra fun. It's like, you know what? He really remembers this time from his past. He's going to use this meta point, the bond point, whatever. And he's like, okay, I'm going to help this thing out because that was terrible.
Good. Thank you.
And the fact that it went smoothly honestly says a lot, given that Andrew and I aren't all that familiar with tabletops.
Yes.
We don't have a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really it helps a lot to get a perspective of people who are coming to it with pretty fresh eyes, because that means that I can trust that the game will hopefully be understandable, even if people aren't super experienced. And I'm glad it went smoothly too, because I've only run this a handful of times. I've been working on the system for a long, long time, but haven't gotten a lot of chances to run it. So I'm glad that it went smoothly.
Yeah,
and I think it was fun. So, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of these characters too. They were a lot of fun. So you guys did a great job.
At some point, I'll make a new Waxel.
Oh yeah,
no, it was Wexen.
Wexen, yeah.
Wexen.
Yeah, from our
his
follow game.
Antagonizing of Boldo.
Died immediately.
Never got to keep his grudge up.
Yeah.
I'm still sad that you changed John Doe's name.
Hey, he was my character at that point. I could change his name if I wanted to.
But I was like, he was an undercover agent. Yeah. Come on, let him be named John Doe.
Nice.
Just keep that one in your back pocket.
There you go.
Cool.
John Doe.
Yeah, I agree. It was. I'm really happy with it, David. I'm getting a better handle on the system. I like the way the bonds points are being spent. I like the character creation. It took me half a second to figure out, the like tags and all that stuff. But once I actually figured it out, I really like the life path system. I really like the way you set that up. I think that's really intuitive and fun. Yeah, I'm excited to play more of it.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Yeah, your guys' feedback helps a lot too. So I thank you for that. And thank you for taking the time out of your day to help me out with it. I appreciate it. So, and thanks for anybody who's watching. Appreciate it.
All right, we're out. See you guys.
Yep.